You will never sound confident in meetings until you stop preparing perfect sentences in your head. Crazy, right? But today, I'm revealing 10 lessons that can instantly change how you speak. Lessons used by CEOs, leaders, and world class communicators. And if you stay till lesson number 10, you'll hear a story about a senior professional who tripled his confidence and got promoted by changing one small speaking habit. Also, if you're serious about upgrading your communication, check out our free masterclass on the Triple E system of English communication. Link is in the description. Hit subscribe if you want more powerful tips every week. Lesson number 1. Stop chasing perfect grammar. When I joined my first corporate job, I was terrified of making grammar mistakes. I would plan every sentence in my head before I spoke, and by the time I did, the conversation had already moved on. So one day, during a meeting, I said, "You don't agree with this idea." My teammate smirked. I froze. I corrected myself. "Oh, he doesn't agree." But the moment was gone. My confidence dropped instantly. Later, my boss said something I'll never forget. He said, "Nobody remembers your grammar. They remember your hesitation." And that line changed everything. From that day, I focused on flow, not flawlessness. Think about it. When Elon Musk speaks, he pauses, repeats, even stumbles. But people still listen because he is real. Perfection kills personality. Communication isn't an exam, it's a connection. So, next time you speak, don't chase perfect English, chase clarity, conviction, and connection. And just wait till lesson number 3. I'll share one exercise that can make your fluency skyrocket in just 10 minutes a day. Here is lesson number 2. Speak in pictures, not words. Ever wondered why some people sound unforgettable? It's because they paint pictures with words. When you say our project faced challenges, nobody feels anything. But if you say our project felt like driving through fog, we couldn't see 10 meters ahead, but we kept moving. Everyone sees your message. And that's what great communicators do. They speak in visuals, not vocab. Steve Jobs didn't say our product is user friendly. He said an iPod is 1,000 songs in your pocket. Simple, clear, visual. Try this exercise. Take a dry sentence and make it visual. Instead of "we are growing fast," say "we are sprinting ahead while others are still tying their shoes." Visual language triggers emotion. Emotion triggers memory. And that's how you make your words stick. In lesson number 6, I'll show you how storytelling, not data, makes professionals unforgettable. But for now, lesson 3. Record, replay, rebuild. Now, this one might feel awkward, but it's life changing. When I started recording myself before meetings, I was shocked. I thought I sounded confident, but my tone was flat and my speed way too fast. Within a week of recording and listening, I started noticing patterns, filler words, rushed endings, and lack of pauses. By the third week, I could hear progress. It's just like athletes reviewing game footage. You can't fix what you don't see, or in this case, what you don't hear. So try this. Record a 2-minute version of your project update, then replay it as if you're your own manager. Ask, does my tone sound engaging? Do I sound confident? Do I end strong? Now, this self feedback loop is gold. Remember, the mirror shows how you look, but the mic shows how you sound. And trust me, you will start speaking with authority faster than you ever thought possible. Lesson number 4. Replace with silence. Let me tell you something wild. Silence is more powerful than words. When I used to present, every time I forgot a word, I would fill it with ah or It made me sound uncertain. Then I watched a TED speaker. She paused, looked at the audience, smiled, and continued. That 2-second silence made her look poised and in control. That's when I realized silence signals confidence. The next week, I tried it. In a team meeting, I forgot a term. Instead of I paused, looked around, then said, what I meant was, and the impact? Everyone waited for me to continue. Use silence like punctuation. It gives weight to your words. Because when you stop speaking, people start listening. That's what you did just now. Lesson 5. Speak to be understood, not to impress. Here is the trap most professionals fall into. They try to sound smart instead of being clear. I once coached a senior executive who said things like, let's synergize our cross functional KPIs to enhance deliverable frameworks. No one understood him. We simplified it to, let's align our goals across teams so execution becomes smoother. Same idea, but clearer, stronger. People don't admire complicated speakers. They trust clear ones. Obama, Jobs, even Indra Nooyi all spoke in short, simple sentences that moved people. Remember, complex words impress your egos. Simple words impact your audience. And coming up, lesson 7 will give you a power phrase that instantly boosts your authority in any meeting. But for now, lesson 6. Start with stories. Imagine this. You are in a meeting. The speaker starts with, our sales grew by 17.4% last quarter. Half the room is already checking their phones. And now hear this. 3 months ago, our biggest client almost left us. But what happened next taught us everything about customer trust. Everyone is listening. Stories are emotional shortcuts. They activate curiosity, empathy, and connection. Every great communicator starts with a story. So, next time you present, don't begin with what happened, begin with why it matters. And the trick, keep your story short, 45 to 60 seconds max. Set the stage, build the tension, reveal the lesson. Here comes our lesson. Lesson number 7. Use the power phrase. Here is one sentence that changes the power dynamic in every meeting. Here is what I recommend based on what I've seen work before. And that's not just a statement, it's a leadership in action. You're not saying I think, or maybe we should. You're saying I recommend. It shows confidence, experience, and authority, even if you are not the most senior person in the room. So instead of saying, I think we could start with plan B, say, I recommend starting with plan B because it aligns better with our client's urgency. Small change, but massive impact. Here is lesson number 8. Mirror your listener. Ever noticed how some people make you feel comfortable? They are not just speaking, they are syncing with you. That's called mirroring. When your client speaks slowly and calmly, match that pace. When your leader is energetic and upbeat, lift your tone. It builds trust subconsciously. You're signaling, I'm like you. It's how negotiators close deals, how leaders build rapport, and how confident speakers win rooms. Lesson number 9. Reframe nervousness as energy. I once had a manager who said, I get nervous before every presentation. She was brilliant, but her voice would shake. I told her, that feeling in your stomach, that's not fear, that's fuel. And she started reframing her nerves as excitement. Before her next client review, she said, I'm ready, let's use this energy. And she nailed it. Anxiety and excitement are the same energy, just different labels. So, next time your heart races before a meeting, tell yourself, I'm not nervous, I'm ready. That one reframe can change everything. And here is our lesson number 10. Speak with intention. Here is the ultimate rule. Every time you speak, ask yourself, why should they care? When you speak with intention, you become memorable. It's not about saying more, it's about saying what matters. Intentional communication builds influence, and influence builds careers. Remember that. Do you remember that senior professional I mentioned at the start? He applied just 3 lessons: recording himself, using the power phrase, and pausing with purpose. 3 months later, he was leading client meetings and got promoted. That's the power of communication done right. So, if you're ready to transform the way you speak, join our free masterclass on the Triple E system of English learning. Link is in the description. And hey, subscribe, like, and share this video with one colleague who deserves to sound as confident as they really are. Because when you change the way you speak, You change the way the world sees you. See you in the next one.